I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollers Live Talk Show Testify. Sit back, relax, watch the clock. We will be getting started shortly. Of course, you all know the topics today. We will be talking about blacks yet being put in the position to where the police is being called on them. And we also will discuss the incident, downtown businesses, complaints from Councilwoman Barbara Brothers. So sit back, relax. Be right back with you. I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollers Live Talk Show Testify. I want to say that I'm sorry to regret that I didn't have my guests on for today. I had scheduled bringing a guest to you, and an attorney that was supposedly speak to you on bankruptcy. And of course, we're also going to try to get her to speak a little bit on those of you who perhaps want to get your record expunged. She also do those services as well. Her name is Farunda Blytheville. She's an attorney down on the northwest end of the state. But anyway, we're going to get on with our show today. I wasn't going to broadcast this show in regards to the topics that I had stated that I want to talk about. But due to the fact as to what continues to happen with me as it relates to the police department, and as we see what goes on across this country with black men in particular continue to have the police called on them, the caller falsely accusing the black individual of committing some crime. Okay, so we're going to play something for you real quickly just to go ahead and set the stage for the show. Okay, so bear with me. I want to play a video for you. It's no more than probably about a minute and a half. Just want to set the stage for the show. So let's get ready to run this video right now. Okay, let's pull it up now.
Tonight, a woman from New York City who was seen on camera angrily confronting a black man in Central Park was hit with a criminal charge today that could send her to jail for up to a year. Here's CBS's Errol Barnett.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
This Memorial Day incident showing 41-year-old Amy Cooper calling the police on a black man who asked her to leash her dog has now resulted in a misdemeanor charge.
Please send the cops immediately.
Manhattan's district attorney announcing Monday Cooper is being prosecuted for falsely reporting an incident and is to appear before a judge October 14th. If found guilty, she faces up to a year in jail. Cooper's lawyer says she'll be found not guilty and noted she already lost her job, home, and public life.
She was going to tap into a deep, deep, dark vein of racism.
Speaking to Gayle King last month, the man who recorded the video, Christian Cooper, said Amy's behavior was racist, but stopped short of calling for further action.
I'm not sure someone's life should be defined by 60 seconds of poor judgment.
Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
Okay, I don't think we had the video playing. So right now I'm just now pulling the video up. Like I said, it's no more than a minute and a half. I'd like to apologize for that's my mistake. So right now we're finna play this video again for you all. Okay. I think we got it ready now. So let's go ahead and play the video. Make sure we add it to the screen. Oh, not that. I'm messing up, y'all. Just give me a minute. Okay, let's add it to the screen now.
Are you really calling the cops about this? It's like this is like these are the police.
We got a commercial.
There is a firestorm tonight over what happened 3 days ago at a Starbucks in Philadelphia where police were called in and 2 black men were arrested.
This video, captured by a witness's cell phone, shows police talking and later handcuffing the men while they were waiting for a friend. The men wanted to use the restroom, but the manager said that per store policy, they couldn't since they didn't buy anything. When they wouldn't leave, she called police.
How crazy is this?
Okay,
2 men arrested
now
for waiting.
That is one video that I wanted to show you all, but the actual video that I wanted to show you all was about a lady calling the police on a gentleman. So let me find that right quick. and then we will get started. Okay, let me find that video. Now this is the video that I really want to play right here. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Tonight, a woman from New York
All
City
right.
who was seen on camera angrily confronting a black man in Central Park.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me start this back over. Y'all are heading. I didn't have this set up, you all. That's why I'm all over the place now. So just give me a minute, okay? Give me a minute. All right. And we're getting ready to get started. Okay. Let me go up here. We want to share it right quick. Share the video. And we getting ready to roll. All right. Now, I believe we are ready. Okay. So let's go now. Play the video.
Tonight, a woman from New York City who was seen on camera angrily confronting a black man in Central Park was hit with a criminal charge today that could send her to jail for up to a year. Here's CBS's Errol Barnett.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
This Memorial Day incident showing 41-year-old Amy Cooper calling the police on a black man who asked her to leash her dog has now resulted in a misdemeanor charge.
Please send the cops immediately.
Manhattan's district attorney announcing Monday Cooper is being prosecuted for falsely reporting an incident and is to appear before a judge October 14th. If found guilty, she faces up to a year in jail. Cooper's lawyer says she'll be found not guilty and noted she already lost her job, home, and public life.
She was going to tap into a deep, deep, dark vein of racism.
Speaking to Gayle King last month, the man who recorded the video, Christian Cooper, said Amy's behavior was racist, but stopped short of calling for further action.
I'm not sure someone's life should be defined by 60 seconds of poor judgment.
Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
Okay, that was a video. I think it was happened in 2020. That was an incident to where a lady called the police on a black man, falsely accusing him of committing a crime. And what these women do, they get this little cracking voice as though they in great fear, as though they are facing imminent danger, and they on the phone calling the police officer, asking them to come quickly. Well, you already know, calling the police on a black man does not ends well for most part for that black man. And so I just wanted to set the stage for this show today. But let's start with the question. You know, why do whites feel so comfortable calling police on blacks? This is a open discussion that we will be having today. And I know that there is going to be some out there saying, there go Tony stirring the pot of playing the race card. You know, whenever people make statements like that, actually, they trying to hide their sins. You know, they don't want that light to be on them. And so therefore, they will flip the script to make it appear that just because you call out racism, you're the racist. You know, but I can deal with that. It's no problem to me. But anyway, that's what we have. In this day and age, we still are being targeted just simply being black. There was a case just, I want to say, probably about a year ago as well, to where a white lady called the police on a child. The child had a backpack on his back, and his backpack somewhat braised up against the woman's rear end, and she accused the child of touching her behind, grabbing her behind, and she called the police. There's also incidents to where black people out in the park getting ready to have a nice, family day barbecue, and police is called on black people for barbecuing. And there's another incident, a child who's selling water. I think she was a child of color. I don't know exactly what's her race. I don't know if she was Hispanic or what, or black. But she was selling bottles of water. And of course, the police was called on this child. Now, what is happening in some states that they're holding these people accountable for calling in false reports on people of color, black people in particular. Now there is laws on the book that will somewhat charge you with a crime for making a false report. For example, I think many of you who have filled out a citizen complaint with the Blytheville Police Department, some of you might have filled one out with the Osceola Police Department. And when you're making a complaint against a police officer, there is a little indemption clause down there that simply say making a false report is a criminal offense, and so you will be tried in a criminal law for making a false complaint against a police officer. Well, you would think that if the police officer likewise make a false complaint against you, shouldn't that police officer be held accountable as well, in terms of criminal charges being assessed against him or her? All right. And look like we got some viewers over here. Trying to see who we got here. I just want to acknowledge my guests and let them know I see them. Miss Williams, how you doing, Miss Williams? It's Miss Alma, how you doing? And Sister James, how you doing? Shortly I'll come back and I'll allow my guests to weigh in on the topics that we will be talking about. It's just two. This is the first one here. Why do whites feel so comfortable calling police on blacks? I read an article the other day which simply answered the question. The reason that whites feel comfortable calling the police on blacks is simple. And the answer was because it works. Because it works. Calling the police on a black man in particular is a way of saying, just because of my white privilege, the police are supposed to believe me. And there have been cases, and you have seen it as well on the internet, of social media, that is, whether it's Facebook or some other social media site, that in most cases when the police get there, although you call the police, but in most cases when the police get there, they ignore you. They go and talk to the white individual, who was the person that you called the police on. It continues to happen in this day and age. Again, it happened to me here in Blytheville, Arkansas. I'm waiting on the video footage. I was hoping to have the video footage today to show you all exactly what was my conduct. The lady cop, Kim Sickman, she got on her radio and she sounded real frightful. Anger, fear, her voice was cracking. If you didn't know better, you thought that I was up on her, somewhat invading her space, to where she feared bodily harm. I was nowhere near this lady. I was probably as much as 25 foot or more away from her, speaking with some other individuals. 2 black women and 1 black man. I don't want to speak too much more on it because I think I said enough the other day about it. Hopefully when I get these videos, I'm hoping I get them Monday, I will come back and I will show you all the videos in terms of what was my conduct, and I'll let you be the judge. Okay? So before, like I said, I'm not going to be long. Before I move to the next topic, we're going to be talking about another topic to whereas we got some problems downtown Blytheville with certain businesses having complaint on other businesses, or that it be some event or what have you. So we're going to talk about that as well before we end the show. I thought I had my notes somewhere, but it looked like I misplaced them. But anyway, so talk to me. So why do you feel, why do you think that whites feel so comfortable calling police on blacks? Why do you think that's so? Talk to me. Go over here and look at my comment section here. All right. Okay. Okay, now this is a comment. We got Sister James. Her statement was, we just play the cards we're dealt. Most of the time, it is racism. I agree. I think Sister James is sort of piggybacking off of my opening. Whenever you are caught in a situation to whether you witness racism or you the victim, and just because you speak out against racism, there are those individuals out there want to sort of flip the script to make you feel that you're over exaggerating. You're playing the race card. You're trying to cause a divide. In other words, they're making you to be the problem. If you see racism, speak out against racism. The only way that a person is not going to be so quick to be so open in plain view with their racism is that you have to put them in a position to make them feel uncomfortable. Sometime confronting them, letting them know that not today. You're not going to have it. Not today. You know, you don't have to raise your voice. Just be firm. Not today. You know, we're not going to have it. I'm not going to deal with it today. You know, I'm sick and tired of this crap. Not today. Hopefully they'll stop and they'll move on. But again, the reason that they feel so comfortable calling the police on you, again, because it works. It works. Because they know that the police view you a different way than it view your white counterpart. No matter if you're the one who called the police. When they get there, you're going to be last that the police officer is going to have questions for. Again, they call the police on you is because they know that it works. They know that when the police get there, because of their white privilege, you in trouble. And in most cases, they are correct. They are correct. So let me go over here to my and that James. That's my brother, courageous brother Corey. Him and I, we do a lot of work in the community together, and he is just piggybacking, agreeing with Sister James. See if we got any more. Again, right or wrong, we're not the victim. Yes, that's the narrative that they like to paint. Racism is all top levels. I can agree with that as well. My blackness should not be seen as a threat. Exactly. I have a t-shirt That's to simply say my black skin is not a crime. Let me repeat that again. I have a t-shirt, not this one, but simply say my black skin is not a crime. Now, of course, this t-shirt that I have on, let me see if I can get this out of the way. I don't know if you all can see it, but this t-shirt here say, it say kill racism, not people. You can't see that bottom down there. Let me try to move it out of the way for you. See if I can go down here and move that out of the way. Here we go. You see, kill racism, not people. Okay, that's what my shirt say. Kill racism, not people. You know, for us to be a race of people who continue to be a target by our white counterpart, we yet show great restraint. We yet show love, brotherly love, sisterly love, no matter how mean-spirited that some of these individuals can be. But because of how we was raised on the word. Our parents, grandparents reared that word in us and demanded respect. And that we give respect as well as to have some expectation of receiving respect. And so that's the way we was raised. But anyway, are there any other questions or statements before I move on to the next topic? Again, why do whites feel so comfortable calling police on blacks? That's the first topic that we have. I'm trying to watch my minutes, my clock up here to make sure that we stay within the scope of how long I want this show to run. So let me go back to my board to see if I see any other questions. Okay, we got a question coming in here from my brother Corey. It's like calling the dogs on blacks like they used to do back in the day. Speaking of dogs, Brother Corey, Blytheville do have a dog policy to where they sick dogs on individuals that they are fleeing from the police, or this last case to where a young man who had the dog mauled his shoulder, ate it up pretty bad, which the city was sued for $100,000. Well, they sell it for $100,000. The guy, the police officer who resigned, he was the one, Officer Sigmund, he was the one that sicked his police dog on the white gentleman. Police dogs, when blacks are being confronted with police dogs, the thought that go to our mind is the civil rights era, to where blacks had water hose turned loose on them, and that's some pressure coming out of those water hoses. You're probably talking about as much as 1,000 psi, and I'm just guessing. It's some tough 500 psi, real easy, I know. But that's some tough pressure coming out of those water hoses, and if up close to you enough, by the force of the psi pushing the water through the hose, making contact with the skin, I imagine that it will cause some type of a skin damage. And so, but you are correct. I agree with you. That is a bad perception, a bad thought, excuse me, to think that your life is so worthless that they're willing to revert back to the days of old, Jim Crow, of sicking the dogs on you. And so I totally agree. Let's see if we got any more questions over here. Okay, that's my sister, Sister Tolliver. How you doing? Some set in their own ways and feel comfortable from their generations. Did it for years. I agree, and sometimes it's learned behavior. When no matter how much you and your white counterpart come up through elementary school, or grade school, or what have you, but it's almost like when you hit round, I want to say 6th grade, 7th grade, that's where you begin to start seeing some separation. It's almost like that line is drawn. This is the line that you don't allow certain individuals to cross. I can go on and speak more about it, but you get what you get the picture where I'm coming from. When a white kid hit a certain age, there's a demand that the socializing must end, especially for those girls, who's coming into puberty, 12, 13 years old. That line is drawn. You no longer can play with little Black Johnny. Just using that for an example. But I'm sick of it, y'all. For some reason, we don't want to come to the table to have a serious discussion about racism. We feel like that's taboo in our communities. If you really want to deal with racism, it requires a discussion. You closing your eyes, not talking about it, don't mean it's going to go away. I'm speaking on racism because I'm sick of this crap, and we got to start holding people accountable. We're going to need white folks to come to the table and be willing to have a serious discussion on racism. We live in the same country. Black folks ain't going nowhere. And I'm pretty sure white folks ain't going nowhere. We live in the same country. We coexist. So we're going to have to find some way or another to get along. Is there any more? I'm getting ready to move to this next topic, you all. We're going to be talking about some things that's going on here in Blytheville, Arkansas. But anyway, let me go to my banner right quick. And now I want to say this here. Now there are some states that are passing laws to criminalize calling the police, specifically unlawful discrimination on a protective class of people. Protective class of people simply saying, if you are an African American, you are a protected class. If you are a Hispanic individual or of the Hispanic race, you are a protected class. What is it? The LGBTQ? I can't pronounce all those alphabets, but you know what I'm talking about. That is a protective class. Whenever an individual calls the police on a protective class of people, that individual may be charged with a criminal act. Okay? Just like you saw on the opening of the video, the lady accusing the black gentleman as if he was getting ready to commit a crime, and it's almost like she feared for her life. She was lying. She lied through her teeth. She put a black man's life in danger by using her white privilege to endanger the life of that black man. She faced a jail time. Now, of course, the they want to try to pass state legislation. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. You see these states right here? You got New Jersey, Minnesota, Oregon, and Washington are states that are considering, in other words, they have introduced bills to criminalize this kind of behavior, where in most cases it's white people calling cops on black people or some other protected class. And if it leads to death, if a person calls the police on a protective class of people and it leads to death, then that person who made a false call, false report, that person could face up to 10 years in jail. So these are some of the things that we need to be speaking to our state legislators, our state senators, our state representatives. We need for them that when they go to the state capitol, we need for them to pass, or shall I say, introduce bills that will protect the lives of a protective class of people, particularly, and I'm just going to call it, my race. Black and brown people probably are the number one race that are shot and killed by police. And we got to push our state legislators that when they go to the state capitol, we grade them on effort. We don't want to hear that the vote's not there. We don't want to hear that, they just ain't going with a red stake and they ain't going to do it. It's about accountability. Other states are looking at Arkansas. So put pressure on your state legislators. Make them do their job. And if Arkansas continue to be a state that want to be somewhat of a symbol of the old Jim Crow, don't want to move forward, continue to want to have, all these old, for example, voter restriction. Arkansas is one of 18 states that have passed voter restriction bills that will make it harder for black people in particular to cast their vote. Cutting polls hours or provisional ballots, where you used to could vote on the same day, but they just somewhat you have to vote a provisional ballot. Your vote don't count until they check your information. That's basically what I'm talking about when I say provisional ballot. They still will allow you to vote. Well, now the way they have the Arkansas voter rules written as we know them, which have become law, if you don't have your information in order on the day of the election, or they get some type of timeline there, then your vote won't count. You won't be, I don't know if they'll let you vote, but come to find out that your information is not correct or in order, you might very well not be allowed to vote. Okay, but these are the states right here who have introduced the legislation to hold those individuals accountable that make false reports. Hopefully we can get Arkansas on that list. Okay, but that's basically all I had on that. I don't think I have anything else. So let me go back up here to my comment section before we move to this next topic. Let me see where we're at on time. We almost got to wrap it up here. So let's go and close it out. Let me find my comment section here. It don't look like I get any more questions that came up. Feel comfortable. Did for years. Okay, so going once, going twice before we move to the next topic. Are there any other questions or statements that need to be made before we move to this next topic? If not, going once, going twice, it's gone. So let's go to the second topic. Okay. What's the real deal of Councilwoman the councilwoman that I'm referring to, it's not Councilwoman Vera James. It's not her, okay? Although I didn't put the name there, but the councilwoman that I'm speaking about, her name is Barbara Brothers, okay? They had I don't know if it was a committee meeting. I think it was the police and fire committee meeting, which Councilwoman Barbara Brothers, she chairs that meeting, okay? That is my state representative. I have not heard state representative, excuse me, my council representative, what I'm trying to say. I have not heard from her, although that I sent her an email about what happened to me down at the municipal courtroom early in the week. Have not heard from her. But here she find it necessary to be the voice of those businesses downtown Blytheville. And let's be fair, the businesses that she represent, I think her sister may have a business downtown, maybe a friend or some group that she affiliated with, have businesses downtown. And of course, she done received some kind of report of events that are being held at nearby buildings that is causing somewhat of a nuisance, to the fact that these businesses downtown, it was quoted in the paper that there are fears that if this stuff is not cleaned up, I'm using the word stuff, but of course they use another word. But if this is not cleaned up, these problems that they were alleging that exist, that the people will not visit downtown. In other words, they will not patronize certain businesses downtown if the police department and the city council don't clean up the concerns or complaints that Councilwoman shared with the police and fire committee. Now, I don't know what's going on down there. All I know is what I read in the paper. You know, she even took a pot shot at our city attorney, Chris Brown. She even took a pot shot at Judge Shannon Langston. I think Judge Shannon Langston, according to the paper, I don't have my notes in front of me, I put them somewhere. I think she was a little upset that one individual she claimed that was caught with a firearm, and she claimed that he was a felon. I'm thinking it's a he. And I think she was not too happy with how the judge handled that that charge that this individual caught. I know I read something about a $50 fine. And so she clearly was not happy with the judge ruling. And also there was Chris Brown. She's a little upset with Mr. Chris Brown because he wasn't in court one particular day, and I guess she needed to ask him something. So she's trying to, imagine, going to introduce some type of discussion to see if what is the problem with Mr. Brown? Why can he not be more hands-on? That's what she's basically saying. Is it money? You know, we need for him to address the things here in Blytheville. We need him more on hands here for Blytheville. And so Miss Brothers, you know, she's all over the map, you know. But that's all I'm going to say about that. But again, I'm getting ready to close. We at 45 minutes now. You know, I don't do no more than an hour. I'm going to spend about maybe 5 or 10 more minutes on this here. I'm going to my board to see if I got any questions on this second topic. It don't seem like I have any questions. I will want to say while you all trying to get your mind together on the questions. The gentleman that over in Jonesboro, Arkansas, who was, I think he was tased by the police department. It was a traffic stop, I believe. He do have his video footage. He don't want to show it. and so I'm respecting his wishes. He claimed that he have retained an attorney, and so I'm the kind of person that once a person hires his or her own attorney, I don't get in front of them. I let them and their attorney, go ahead and do their thing. Of course, if they call upon me, how I may be some help, then if I can, I will. But in this particular case, he has an attorney, and I'm going to respect his wishes. Don't forget, you all, the early voting will be starting soon. At quarter-cent sale tax. August the 3rd through the 9th is early voting, and August the 10th is election day. Okay, so that's really all I have, you all. I want to say this here. Mrs. Barbara Brothers really do need to stop using the police department as her personal weapon. That's why we can never get anywhere with this chairperson. I've spoken to the mayor about Miss Brothers. She's not fair. When it comes to issues as it relates to, I just call it like I see it. When it comes to black concerns, she may speak a little bit on it, but she don't fight as hard as she will fight like now. She fighting for these businesses downtown. Mention something about trash. How does trash cause one to have fear to the point there that they don't want to visit downtown? Trash brings fear. Just not understanding that logic. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go over here once again and look at my screen. As I said, that I wasn't planning on running this broadcast today. I was planning on doing something else with an attorney, and so I'm not too prepared today, and so forgive me for that. But I will say this here: I will be bringing on the attorney. Hopefully in the next, I won't be doing the show I think I'll be doing a show this week. I think the week after I may be out of town. So I won't be doing a show after August the 1st. I won't be doing the show. I don't know why. I thought I had my air on. It's hot in here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if I don't see any more questions over here, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. Where we at? 48 minutes, y'all. We still under the limit. I don't like to go over an hour. 45 minutes is ideal, like I always tell you all. So if there is nothing else, let me get this off the screen here. This banner. So if there is nothing else that you all like to ask, then I'm going to conclude this show. I will say this here. We're going to be coming back. We continue to have a lot of individuals running into police officers, making contact with police officers for traffic stops. I will be giving you some information on how you should conduct yourself, the do's and don'ts, when you encounter a police officer, that you are a pedestrian, in other words, that you are walking, driving. In some cases, it leads to a bodily search. I'm going to speak to you about that to let you know when the police officer have violated your civil constitutional rights when it relates to pat down search. I'm going to talk to you all about that probably the next, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So you all come back and join me again on the next broadcast of the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show. And so one more time, I'm going to the comments. When I come back, we're going to conclude this meeting, or this broadcast, excuse me. Don't see anyone. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I wasn't prepared today. I just decided just to speak on these two topics. Hopefully, I'll be better prepared next week when I try to bring on either my attorney. If I can't get my attorney to come on, then we will be talking about some police stops in terms of the do's and the don'ts when you encounter a police officer. We want you to be in a position to where you don't place yourself in harm's way. We want you to be able to go home after being detained by the police. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you all to please join in and catch me again next Sunday, same time, 6 o'clock p.m. The topic will be announced. So again, I'd like to say peace and love, God bless, and good night.